What's going on, everybody? We are coming to you live from Farmington Hills, Michigan at Take a Chance Records. I'm Will, a.k.a. Siren. We got Nate over here.
Yes, sir.
Another clean one.
Let's get it.
I'm getting really good at them.
We got a big day ahead of us.
Yeah, we do. We have a couple episodes to film today.
We got
but
3 podcasts to film today.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited, especially because the guys we got on today,
Yeah.
I became hip through college, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Snapchat story, GVSU story. Today, we have Cole Merrill. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Yep.
Okay,
Right,
beautiful, beautiful.
Perfectly.
Just kind of jump into it. I want to know like a little bit about your upbringing. I know you're from the Grand Rapids area, but you know, run me through what your life was like before music came into the play.
I grew up in Grand Rapids area, and then obviously I like sports way more than a little bit more of my academics. So I got through high school.
Felt you.
But I played soccer and basketball and stuff, and then obviously I golfed on the side and all the little stuff, bowling and whatnot.
I just got into golf a lot this year.
Yeah, and then I've just recently got into racing and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
really?
we'd be going to like the fast go-kart tracks, like
damn.
K1 we did over here and stuff like that. But we got one in Grand Rapids. But
Damn.
then I did a little bit of college, and then decided I'm just gonna kind of go into music. I like that a little bit more.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to
college?
school for college. I just started at CC. I got accepted, and I think I applied for Western, and I got accepted there. GVSU, I think I got accepted there, and then Ferris or something, and CMU. I think they all accepted me, but too much money, man.
It is expensive.
Way expensive.
This guy took me golfing.
Yeah. Have you guys? Well, did you play at the one by? There's one up by GVSU where you guys were
the
talking
Meadows?
about that Snapchat. Hey, the Meadows. You played that one?
No, I never played the Meadows. I played a few courses around there, but no. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Insanely.
I think
tough.
that's where they hold the high school state finals.
I think you're right.
Or they did at least a few years in a row or something.
Yeah, well, my buddy who was on his high school team said he played there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the best score you shot in golf?
Dude, can't put me on the spot like that.
Well,
man.
have you broke 100?
Yeah, I've gotten like a 98.
Okay.
Probably, but I don't think I've ever gotten in the 80s. I wish. My brother's like a constant 84, but
dude, I wish.
yeah,
My dad,
he's got it. But.
like when we were talking before, I said my dad's from South Carolina.
Yeah.
He worked at the Dunes Club in
Okay.
South Carolina, and my uncle who passed away a couple years ago, he worked there for like 30 years up until his death.
Sure.
And I would go out there with my uncle and my dad, and I would be looking for alligators as a little kid, like 6 years old. I was looking in the water to see if I would see an alligator.
You would shit your pants if you saw
Bro.
an alligator, bro.
Hold on. So after he passed, in his memory, they did a memorial golf outing,
Oh, for real?
and they gave us a spot in it. So me and my dad would play. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So first time I go out there, like since my uncle had passed, the guys we were playing with goes, "There's a gator over there." And I go, "What?" Like I just like was like totally off the game. Like I have to see this gator. And I looked, and it was probably like a 13-foot gator just chilling like right out off the shore.
Jeez.
I got pictures. If I find it, I can
Pull
post
them,
it.
pull them
Yeah.
up if you got them.
But the place where my uncle worked, he was a bartender at this place for the Waterloo Hole, which is like the most famous hole at the dunes, and that's where all the gators would be, like all the time. So every time I've gone since then, I've seen one. It's kind of wild.
That's
it's like
sweet,
he's
though.
looking out, you know. That's the homie.
Seeing wildlife like that, like up
Bro,
close
like
is
an
crazy.
alligator. Like I get freaked out when I see coyotes because like I don't see them all the time. I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know. Like, ooh, coyote. When we were going to South Carolina a couple years ago, I saw a mountain lion, and I was
That's
like,
sick.
yo, that's
That's
wild.
sick.
You know.
I've seen, could be conspiracy theory, but I've seen some videos of mountain lions in Michigan. I have no idea.
There definitely is.
I have no idea.
I've seen panthers.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
or
the
something
same
like
thing?
that. Maybe
Yeah. I
feel like that's
maybe
the
it's
same thing,
panthers, but
essentially.
Yeah.
big cats.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
no.
whoa.
There's definitely, especially if
Whoa.
you go Upper Peninsula,
That-
like
that's
Canada,
what
like
it
near
was.
Canada and shit like that. Oh yeah, definitely. I bet they got
Yeah,
there
no.
for sure.
Seeing an animal that you don't really see in like let's just say Michigan, like when you're outside of Michigan, you see something like that, it's like, wow.
What the fuck? Like
There's so much more to this world.
Yeah,
than,
like when we were in Florida for spring break, there were fucking iguanas in the yard, and I'm like, what
Iguanas.
the
Yeah.
hell?
Well, I went to Mexico once, and there was fucking iguanas walking all over the place. Dude. They just chilling everywhere, man.
In Florida, actually, it's 100% legal to kill an iguana and eat it if you want to. If you catch it, because the population's so crazy.
well, no, they
don't-
also destroy like some type
The
of
vegetation.
vegetation, some type of vegetation there. Yeah.
So like they need people's help to take them out because
Because
they're
like invasive or something.
they're like
There's so many of them.
well like I think they're like they're weird claws, like when they dig they fuck up like all the like soil and shit like in the ground, and it can like fuck up the ecosystem or some shit like that.
Okay.
Plus they're just like there's a shit ton of them. I swear to God that 4 days I was in Florida I saw at least 40 in my yard. And like I'm not like there's some that were this big, but some were like fucking and they're fast as shit. We were joking like trying to catch them and they're taking off. Are there bears in Michigan? I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
that.
there's bears.
Like up north.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I've seen a lot of bears.
Campgrounds. We used to go camping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. I went to what's the one?
There'd be bears digging in the trashes there, like Traverse City and.
Oh
Yeah,
damn.
no,
Okay.
water.
Yeah. I
up north
thought that.
there. Up north there's for sure because I've seen a few.
There was the there's a spot up north. I can't remember what it's called. It's called like Oswald's Bear Ranch. If you ever go up there north again, Oswald's Bear Ranch. They got
Where's
a bunch of
that?
bears there. By Newberry, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But up there, man, yeah, it's like this fucking just giant enclosure of bears, and they actually got this little one where you like they got the baby bears. You can fucking like feed it Fruit Loops and shit.
Oh, that's
Fruit
I
sick.
know, dude. You want to feed bears?
Why are they giving them Fruit Loops? Like, there's nothing better you can give these bears.
Yeah, like
That's
Captain
crazy.
Crunch
Great.
or something.
Red Dye 40.
I think
Captain Crunch is better than Fruit
That might be the
Loops.
most American thing. Fucking domesticizing
Yeah,
the
that
bears
should
and
not
feeding
make
them Fruit
them
Loops.
absolutely aggressive when
You
they're
should put bears on the
teenagers.
box.
We didn't even introduce
That's
bro.
insane.
No, we did not. I thought it
The
was
guy
going to get brought
to
up.
the guy
at
to
some
Cole's
point.
right, Nick Gilmer. This is actually who I was in contact with first
Yes, sir.
before I got to meet him.
Yeah.
Producer. Check out his episode next week.
Yes, sir.
They're going to switch places.
But
And I might not be here. Disappear now.
I was gonna say,
Like my
like just
father.
tying it back to that sports a little bit. What did you think of the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime performance?
It was pretty intense. It's always weird when you're like sitting there. I was with my girlfriend's family, so like when you're with just an older generation that obviously doesn't really know Kendrick, and they're just confused a little bit, like kind of the whole time, like just because they, it's their first time interacting with it, and so I'm like half explaining like the beef with Drake behind it, and so is my girlfriend and her sisters and her boyfriend, like we're all just trying to like make it make sense, but then he's throwing in all this other stuff, and I'm like, dang, okay, like I don't know what's going on here either. Let me just watch. And it was nuts. I mean, he went all the way through. I was kind of mad he didn't do like all right and stuff.
Yeah.
I was really hoping,
That
something
was
off of
pissing me
him,
off the
but
most. They didn't do anything
yeah.
from his older albums.
There were a lot of songs that I wanted
yeah,
him
or
to
like
play.
Good Kid, Mad City. But I get, Good Kid, Mad City not being played on a
Yeah.
national level.
Yeah.
Bro's just like in the camera. Like, say Drake.
Yeah.
Just like that. Nah.
Well,
like,
Well, I was gonna ask you real quick, like
Yeah.
how do you feel about Kendrick, like even like way before the Super Bowl, like
Before 2024, killer. I remember seeing Black Panther, like in the movie theater, and I never thought like a soundtrack was so good. And I know that they use most of the instrumentals and like a little bit of his cuts or whatever. But I went home and listened to that whole album. I was like, dude, no way an artist can make like a full track list for a sick Marvel movie.
yeah.
And like so nonchalantly, like King's Dead is insane.
and then Metro
Yeah.
even
Future's part?
did some stuff too.
Metro,
like that.
yeah, like obviously, what is it called?
It was Spider-Man.
Into the
Yeah.
Oh, Into the
Spider-Verse,
Spider-Verse.
I don't know the actual name.
Whatever it is, the
That's a good
animation
album,
one.
though.
Yeah, like that,
only-
that stuff is sick.
The only like movie soundtracks I can compare is like some of those Fast and Furious soundtracks, like
Yeah.
back in the day when they had like
See You Again.
horses and See
Horses,
You Again.
yeah.
Candy Paint was on
Yeah.
one
Candy
of them.
Paint, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they had some.
Michael Scott.
Yeah, that was it was such a weird era. But like with Kendrick, I love I love rap, and I love Kendrick was. I always knew what Kendrick was, but I'm a Drake fan. I'm a huge Drake fan, so
Oh,
I felt
no.
like I had to be on one side during this. Like I couldn't switch up on the guy that's been my favorite.
It's not
rapper.
like you know him personally though.
You
That's
know?
the thing. Like it's
I
all
get it.
music. Bro.
I
That's
get
how I
it.
was
I
looking
get
at
it,
it. Like, dude, I love this.
But
you
I'm
know
in the
what I mean?
Discord chat with the homies, and they're like, "It's over. Drake's finished."
Bro, you
And
feel
I'm
like J.
like,
Cole.
I fuck with J. Cole too.
And I'm that way. Like they're all, they're all popping, and they have such good songs all the way
Exactly.
through. Like
They're
no
all-
offense, you can't put some of Drake's songs up to some of Kendrick's songs. One, because they're like just entirely different.
Yeah.
But two, because they're just both really good.
Yeah.
Writing processes. Whoever was in the room and whatever.
Yes.
even like E40, I'll give him credit. Like I know he's kind of right with Drake, and like they work simultaneously, kind of like me and Nick would on like some of our projects and stuff like that. Like Nick will pop in and be like, don't say that line that way. Let's try, rewriting it like 2 times, and eventually, we'll figure out a word that's way better, and we'll end up putting that in. Like,
Right.
It's good to have that in there. So like I get some of the things, but I will say this. If we're talking about just the beef, I mean Kendrick definitely won. We can't.
That's what made me hurt.
That's what. Yeah, that's what does hurt.
I had to be there for I was gonna say I had to be there for Drake. That was crazy. Hold on, I didn't mean that. I was gonna say that,
That's
but I
wild.
didn't mean that. No, I felt like as a Drake fan, like I couldn't switch up on him. Like I didn't want to be like bumping Kendrick every fucking day when he's just calling Drake a pedophile.
That's how I felt.
I loved the halftime show.
Yeah.
Because I love Humble. I love DNA. I'm a fan of Kendrick. I love Luther with SZA. SZA fucking killed it.
SZA might have had like the best
SZA
performance
I
out
agree.
of all of them. Honestly.
GNX was a good album too.
Exactly.
Yeah, her coming in was
But
GNX was
surprising.
The only thing people were talking about were him dissing Drake, SZA, and Serena Williams. That's all people talked about.
Forgot about Serena Williams.
I'm not even trying to cook him, but like we're acting like it's the craziest Super Bowl performance of all time. Everyone's only talking about. There are a lot of people.
Dude, that Super Bowl performance with Snoop, Dre, Kendrick.
That one was better.
That one was
that
50.
one-
That
I
one was
agree.
great.
By far.
That was the best
That
one.
was the
by
best.
far.
And the Sonics were super good too. Like even when you're watching on TV, what sucks with like, I feel like Kendrick's music and stuff like that. Like it's so hard to mix that nationally like that. Like it was like when Travis did the Super Bowl and stuff like that. Like,
That's valid.
It was super tough. Like I don't even think Travis used auto tune or something like that, or he turned it way down just because it was screwing up in the stadium. So like, it's so tough to like for hip hop. I feel like to kind of get to the good mixing, but then you see Rihanna, Katy Perry even, and they're amazing shows because the music is so much more grain. You got more cymbals, more highs and stuff like that.
Beyonce.
Your lows
Exactly.
are tamed.
Yeah.
But when it's hip hop, it's you got to match that voice with a bass that's coming through, and it's coming through a bunch of TVs.
Facts. That's why I think
it's a whole
SZA
different
killed it.
thing. That's why SZA was a good addition. I
Yeah.
mean, you added another rapper in there, it would have gotten tough. Like even Travis, if they came in and did Goosebumps or something like that, like it would have been tough.
That would have been crazy.
But it would have been nuts. But just for all of us, that would have been
I would
die
have lost
hard.
my mind. I would have lost my mind personally.
Yeah, I think SZA was a good high addition too to be able to bring out that loudness.
Another really good Super Bowl performance that also ties into having an album created around a movie is The Weeknd.
I disagree.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
No, he's coming out with one.
I know, but I don't like The Weeknd.
Yeah, the performance.
You ever
of the Super
seen-
Bowl,
Like
it just-
I will not be tuning in.
I think it was.
the
I'll
album?
give him
Not
this.
at all.
It was tough because he had like no crowd to work with, so he really couldn't bring that into play and anything. So he was kind of just by himself. But
It wasn't bad.
it-
The
it-
halftime
yeah,
show
it
as a
wasn't
whole
bad.
was cool.
No, I more so wanted to touch on him making that album that's coming out with that movie.
what
He's
movie?
got. You didn't see the trailer with Jenna Ortega? He's no longer going by The Weeknd. He said he's accomplished enough with that
able,
persona.
right?
Yeah.
He's so weird.
He's going to his name, and he said the weekend's over with. He accomplished enough, and he's got a movie coming out with Jenna Ortega.
That's
bro.
cool. I mean, that's dope.
That's
but like,
sick. That's
I
sick.
cannot stand him. Most overrated artist of our generation by far. Not to say he's not talented, because he can sing his ass off, and he's got some good songs. Do not get me wrong. But people have
hits,
the
bro. He
nerve
writes hits.
to
Compare
compare
I
him
would
to
say
Michael
this-
Jackson,
yeah.
and that's
Okay,
wild.
I can agree with that.
That is wild.
I've watched my little cousins, like obviously Blinding Lights and stuff like that. It was
That was
like
catchy.
it was good. It was like the first
It had its
3
moment.
times I
It had
heard
its moment,
and
yeah.
then 300 was enough. But like obviously for younger kids and stuff like that song went off. So like I think he switched up his mentality maybe. Just 'cause-
Probably.
and I don't think it was maybe him. Probably because he was in that label deal that he effing hated. So he probably just took it out and was like, I'll go do my own thing now. But I bet this new stuff should hopefully be like maybe then we could start seeing what Abel's really about. If now it's just his stuff and he's got you need to do this to make us this much money.
Yeah.
X and X to be
Yeah,
able to
he's
pay you.
completely
Because
independent.
he's probably bought his mom a mansion and stuff like that. So
Oh.
you still have to release music that makes your $1 million for your taxes
True,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. Like it does take. You can't just drop off the face of the earth. And like the only person
Unless
that's
you're
done
Frank
that is
Ocean.
Frank Ocean, and he just disappeared.
He posted a picture the other day.
He just disappeared.
He just
Yeah,
posted a
he
mirror
just posted
selfie.
a picture of him shirtless on his Instagram.
Mirror
yeah,
selfie.
but like
For no reason.
I'm
Like,
just
like, "Hi,
saying,
Frank,
like
it's been a
in
minute."
terms of music, he's just gone.
Yeah,
Like,
facts.
it's like so. Which
Who's-
come back, Frank.
Who's your
we miss you.
personal favorite halftime show?
Oh man.
Because
from
I got
all the
one
way
that no one
back.
said yet. That like I remember watching as a kid. Like that's awesome.
What?
Was it Bruno Mars?
Yes.
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 And then-
Bruno was.
And the
When
Red
he-
Hot
I
Chili
remember
Peppers,
Yes,
when
it was
they came out
awesome.
and Give It
Yeah.
Away. I was
Yeah.
talking about that the other day.
And then the second time he did it with Coldplay
Coldplay.
and Beyonce.
Yep.
I think it was 50.
Oh, you might be right.
Because they
I
did
don't know
three
off the top
like
of my
big
head.
name people that had done it already. Besides Coldplay. Coldplay, that was their first time, but Bruno and Beyonce had already done it. But that I remember that one was dope, and I keep seeing clips of that one, like
Yeah.
of them three performing Uptown Funk together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just dope. Beyonce's like, say what?
I wanted to kind of wrap up the whole sports thing. You said you played basketball. Are you into the NBA?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's
You
the
know where
Luka.
this is going.
It's that big Luka
Let's talk
move,
about
eh?
The whole free agent, not even just the Luka move. There was a lot of
Bro,
moves
but
made.
like-
It's
Lot-
true. Everything.
It's
a lot
one
of
of
moves
the-
made.
There's only been a couple moments as an NBA fan that I remember where I was when I heard the news. Kevin Durant getting traded to the Suns. I
Me
was
too.
laying on that couch.
Oh, I thought you were about to say
Oh, I
signing
was
with the
signed with the
Warriors.
Warriors,
Yeah,
too.
I thought you were
I
about
I
to
was
say-
where I
walking
was
up
at.
my driveway when my friend called
I
me.
know exactly where I was at in the car when I found out that.
I was up
Yeah.
north and my buddy Max texted me. He's like, yo, he went to the Warriors, and I'm like, no, he didn't. He's like, dude, check Twitter. He went to the Warriors. And, like,
Crazy.
I was on the phone with him looking at this, and I'm just like, there's no way,
Bro.
I heard a theory about this the other day, is that the NBA might have done that on purpose. Now
The
I don't
Luka
know
trade?
100%. No, not the Luka trade. But they were
KD?
talking about KD because you know how it's like they always want ratings and stuff.
Yeah.
But they were talking about how they always need a villain in the NBA and how LeBron was the villain.
You
and
were
then-
just saying
You
that
were
the
saying
other
that.
day.
I was watching that episode. That's what I was saying.
Bro,
Yeah.
speaking of that, this ties in with the Luka thing. I'm a huge pro wrestling guy. It's like heels and baby faces. They have a bad guy, and then when they need a new bad guy, someone goes somewhere else, and they
Yeah,
become the
yeah.
bad guy. It was sort of becoming Steph, and they were like, "Fuck that. Steph
Yeah.
needs to be the good guy."
My,
So we'll get KD.
go ahead.
The night that the trade happened, the Royal Rumble was happening. So I was watching that, and then I was outside smoking, dead tired. It was like midnight. And my cousin and my homie group FaceTimed me. And I was like, I don't want to answer. They're going to want to play video games, and I just want to go to bed. But I was like, fuck it, I'll answer. So I answer, and they go, Will, you don't know what's going on right now. And I'm like, no, like I have no idea. And they're like, oh my, like open something, like open Twitter, open Bleacher Report,
Instagram,
something.
whatever.
So I opened Bleacher Report, and of course I had been checking scores, so it's on the scores first, so I have to wait for it to load, and then it just says Luka is a Laker. And I thought LeBron got traded. And then I read it, and I was like, they just gave up literally AD in a first rounder. No disrespect to Matt Christie. He has been killing
Max
it.
Christie.
Max Christie. I didn't mean to fuck up his name.
One of
From
my-
Michigan
I was
State.
gonna say that's one of my
Go
Spartan
Green.
dogs.
That's a dog.
It's true.
But it was really AD in that first round, and I was just like, what the? And they gave like Kleber up.
Yeah,
Who else?
there was someone else. in there.
Morris.
They had the Jazz in there some way too. I don't know
Yeah,
how.
the Jazz didn't even give up anything. I don't think. I think they were just like
They
we're
didn't
just
even know
taking.
what was happening. They
I
didn't
think
know
they
Luka was
had-
part of the deal.
Yeah, I think they had salary cap. Like they just had enough
Danny
in the
Ainge is
vault.
pissed because he's usually that fucker.
So, well, I wanted to say how Luka going to the Lakers. You know how you said the conspiracy thing. I heard this conspiracy about the Luka and LeBron.
Ratings.
Well, ratings obviously plays a big part into it, but I heard that the new owners for the Mavs, because Mark Cuban's no longer there,
It's
Yeah.
about the gambling stuff.
those guys are super big into casinos and they're supposed to be moving the Mavs to Vegas.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And that's why they wanted to get rid of Luka. They get all these older dudes, let them deteriorate, then they rebuild and move to Vegas. And then
Vegas.
the Lakers have that young guy to build around after LeBron retires, and they have that star because there's always a star in a Lakers uniform.
There's gonna be a
Crazy.
fucking wild 30 for 30 on this in 20
Dude,
years.
LeBron's documentary just got like 20 times crazier.
Oh,
Bro,
exactly.
that's when you think it's starting to simmer down. Like he gets to like the
Do
all-time
we need
league
to ask that
score.
question again? Does it affect his legacy?
This?
Yeah.
I mean, it
How?
wasn't him.
I think we got
Maybe.
We gotta see how good they go because if they
They
can
played
actually make
alright.
it past the Western Finals,
It's true.
I think
if we just get one more LeBron Finals appearance, I will be set for life.
Can I? The only team I think will give him trouble and probably beat them in a 7-game series in the West is Oklahoma City.
You don't
That's
think
it.
the Nuggets could still get him?
I think Jamal Murray has fallen.
dude, when he
off.
plays the Lakers in the playoffs, he turns into Michael
Yeah,
Jordan.
he gets those last shots every
We've
single
seen
time.
Yeah,
we've
he's just
seen
turning
Luka
on.
fuck up Jamal Murray.
We've seen Luka in the finals last year.
Exactly. And he played good, but he was all they had. Now he has LeBron James.
Nah, he was a hole on defense.
He couldn't play
bro.
defense.
He
couldn't play
was
defense.
terrible on defense.
How do you guys feel about Dalton Connect?
I think he's a
Connect
good
four.
little rookie. I think he needs time to figure it out. But
He seemed
I'm glad he's still in LA. To be
so
honest with you.
butthurt on the bench when he was sitting there that first game back when Luka was playing. He was just sitting there like pissed off.
Well, there's always a
You
Lakers
guys think?
white boy too, man. First it was who was
That
it?
would-
There was Alex Caruso, then Austin Reeves,
Austin Reeves is
and
slowly
then Dalton
turning
Connect
into
was
a
supposed to be
superstar.
next, but then Luka got traded there, man.
I saw an argument today saying, "Is he the best like third guy in the
Austin
league?"
Reeves? No.
I just want to know what Miami be doing to everybody. Why is Jimmy Butler crashing out?
Pat Riley's insane.
Time out.
I'm joking.
got-
I know why, because he's not getting,
He ain't getting paid.
right?
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say
it
this
always
is like the
seems
third
it's
time.
Miami,
This is
man.
like the third time Jimmy's had an incident with a team though. Third
Oh,
or
yeah.
fourth
and
time.
that's the other thing.
They've all been about money though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All of them at Chicago, he didn't get paid enough, so he's like, "Get me out of here." He goes to Minnesota, and then I didn't know it was about money then, but then you hear like Jeff Teague retell the story, and he's saying there like, "I'm the friend, I'm fucking pay me."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to
so
teach him like what a 401k is, and just say.
I
hey,
think, but to be
you
honest,
got
I think
enough,
Miami
man.
was different.
Put 2
I
mil
think
in
Miami was different. I think he felt disrespected by Pat Riley. I think like he felt disrespected like as a man.
I
Like,
mean, he
fuck
took
you.
them to the finals,
Yeah,
and he played his ass off
I
in the
fuck with Jimmy.
finals in the bubble, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
twice. They went to the finals twice. Nuggets. They played the Nuggets when the Nuggets won.
You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you. all right.
He would have been
Think you are
finals
right.
MVP twice if they win those series.
And he just signed that extension with the Warriors. He just got that 2-year deal.
They're
He got
playing
the
all right.
bag,
They're
dude.
playing all right.
No, he's gonna be great for Steph.
I
Jimmy
hope
Butler's gonna complement Steph very well.
Wouldn't it be dope if we saw one more Lakers Warriors playoff series?
Dude, that'd be amazing.
I'd rather
I-
see a Cavaliers and Warriors,
yeah.
LeBron and Bronny go back to Cleveland.
Bring 'em
That'd be,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like-
like if we're fantasy booking it, then yeah, I agree.
That was when I was in like middle school,
Bro.
And, like that would be our teams in like summer camp. Cause
Wait, how old are you?
Finals. I'm 21.
Okay.
Are you about to turn 22 or did you just turn 21?
22 in July.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like,
So yeah,
half.
Okay. Damn, so
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
what, 2 years older than him?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'll be 24 in
How'd you guys meet?
4 days, I think.
Guitar Center, we worked.
Oh,
together.
that's right.
Oh,
You were
really?
talking to me about
3 days.
Yeah.
3 days. I'll be 24.
Hey.
Oh,
Happy
yeah,
birthday,
yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
brother. Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother.
Absolutely.
I didn't know if you wanted that me too. All right, my bad.
I'll
Birthday deps, bro.
Yeah.
I kind of want to just jump into the music aspect of it. When did music come into your life? You know, were you a kid just bumping music around the crib, and then like it just slowly became into like, oh, let me try and create this, or like, how'd it come about?
Hell yeah. But the problem was, like, in my family, like, when I was young, I was bumping Justin Bieber. And, like, because, like, yeah, I'm saying, dude, like, I could sing Baby word for word,
Bro.
Love
Oh, yeah.
Me, and
Never say never.
Never Say Never. I had
What you
Jaden
know about one
Smith.
time?
That was
What you know about
probably,
one
that
time?
was honestly probably, like, my introduction to hip-hop, was
One-
Jaden Smith's little, I'm going to come in and then, you know, hop
got
out,
a
and then
JB song
JB
with
comes
me.
back in. I was like, to me, that was like, you know, kid hip hop, right?
Yeah.
there.
What
What
did
I
he
was
say?
like, let's
How
go.
Jaden Smith going, and
I-
he's bigger than me, and
Yeah,
taller than me, and
no.
taller than me. Yeah, that shit was hard. But he ain't on the JB song.
But,
with
like,
me.
yeah.
It's like he's
Yeah.
better than me in every way, but I'm on a Justin Bieber show.
I-
Honestly, they'll flex at that time.
There was no swearing in my house like that. It was like we were at church every Sunday and stuff like that. So it was just going to there, and then 6th grade happened, and I moved schools. I moved from like a charter school to a public school, and I started riding the bus. And of course, I started sitting next to like one of my neighbors, and all of a sudden, he just started showing me. First, he started showing me because he was Puerto Rican, so he started showing me like Daddy Yankee and like
Oh,
stuff
damn.
like that, and like farther into Pitbull stuff. And then all of a sudden, he like just switched it over, and I'm listening like 2 Chainz, I'm Different, and like and like
Pull
What
up
year
to
was
the
this?
First Day, or whatever that one is.
What
And
year was this around?
This
So 6th grade.
6th grade would have been like 2015, maybe 20.
Damn.
Like 2015.
This is right around the time I got
2014
into
or
hip hop
something
too.
like that,
Yeah.
right before. So like, yeah, it's like 2014, 2015, somewhere in that area, and I'm like just starting to get into this. So now I'm like going home. I'm in 6th grade. Mom, I use Spotify and stuff like that, and like she'd take my phone. So like I started to add a bunch of explicit songs. She found out, deleted them all, told me I can't have them.
Damn.
Wait,
So
is this when
I'm
you had to
like-
buy the songs on iTunes?
This was this is when you had to buy them on iTunes. So but Spotify was still, I was like brand new, or like just starting to get big. So I paid for the subscription or whatever. I was like, you can get 3 months for $1.
Yeah,
you know? And yeah, so she went through it. And she's like, no explicit songs. So from 6th to 7th grade, like into 7th grade, I'm listening to all clean versions. Like, literally, it's the worst.
Damn,
With
like
the little
video game
skip and stuff
soundtracks.
like that. Yeah, and I'm like filling it in with my own head, which is like starting to get my creative stuff like mixed. So it wasn't like awful, but then it just transitioned. All right, Mom, like, can I just add this one explicit song? There is no clean version. Wink, wink. And then she's like, yeah, and then it just kind of grew from there. And then I started really compiling, and then ended 2016, 2017. That's when I'm starting to figure out Uzi and stuff like that, especially when he was like hot, like real big.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of my introduction too. Was
So
Uzi.
yeah.
So what motivated you to start creating your own music?
Yeah. Well, it's
Like,
kind of weird.
I need like what was your first thought? Like, you know what? Let me try this. Or
I got grounded.
For what? For what?
I got grounded. I think this might have been either the time that I went to like my buddy's cottage with him, and like I brought like a vape or something like that, and like I had it in my bag, and his mom snooped and went into my bag and literally called my parents behind my back and told me, hey, your son has a vape in his bag. So I get home, and I'm sitting downstairs, and my dad comes out, hey, where is it? I'm like, oh, what?
What a narc.
What's going on? Right as it's
What was
under
her
my
name?
leg, because I just shoved it under there as I heard him coming down the stairs. And so then he's like, where is it? I'm like, oh, like, what do you mean? And he's like, I know what's going on. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you have a vape somewhere. I'm like, all right, well, I ain't going to be able to get up out of this one. So I gave it to him, grounded me. And so then for like 2 months, I couldn't do anything, but I had my school laptop. And so I went to soundtrap.com, which is like a SoundCloud's version of like an online collaborative studio. And it just had a bunch of loops and stuff. And I just started kicking it with that because I was so bored.
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden I started loving it. But I had been like in music. Like I had done band all the way through 8th grade. My band had the chance to go to Macy's Day Thanksgiving for my high school.
Fuck.
The year, and I could have gone, but like the work to do that was insane, and I wanted to do soccer super badly. So it was like that or that, and I was starting to kind of get into hip hop and stuff, like other stuff.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I wanted to do the super classical stuff. So I didn't actually do it, but a bunch of my buddies did and stuff like that. So it was pretty sick that they got to go.
Yeah.
But
What'd you play in the band?
I was trumpet first year, and then I was like, this is an effing mistake. Because 3rd grade through 5th grade, I had my neighbor, he had made his own band, and so he was teaching me drums like twice a week or whatever. And so I was starting to learn drums, and that's what I really loved. So I did trumpet for a year, and I was like, fuck that. I went back to percussion, and then I was just in percussion for 2 years, and then that's where it was like, all right, do you want to strap a snare drum to you and walk around?
Percussion's
Dude,
sick.
I think it's sick, but dude, the way that my band my school band practices for some of this stuff is intense. I was like, I think I'd rather just go run and kill some
it's
people
like
in
my
soccer,
cheerleader.
you know. But
He's got his school's known for the band. Mine's for the cheerleaders. Like it's like that. you
mine's
know?
band and athletics. Like,
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like we I think my here's the problem with my school district that I hate is like we had a chance I think to do 3 different high schools, which would have been awesome because that's money into education.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, at the high school and probably K through 12 level, it should be education. That's primary money. But instead, they decided, no, how are we going to build the best sports team? So they stuff us all in a jailhouse. Like it's a giant ass square that literally is just a ring, and it's hundreds of classrooms. You're 1 in a million, so you never get care like you really need. You have to seek it out, which is tough for a lot of teenagers and stuff like that. So like, and that's just so that they could build the best sports team. So yeah, we have the best sports teams, but our education is dog shit.
Yeah.
Like nobody's cared for. We just go through it. Everybody can do whatever. Half the teachers give up because they just can't deal with it for the amount of pay. So it's like I wish my school district would have gone with 3 high schools because it would have been cool. Like you have North play East, play South or something like that. And then it's rivalries.
You're playing
and stuff
your
like
buddies,
that. And we have rivalries with other school, but at least it's rivalries with more buddies and stuff like that, hometown and whatnot. But I mean, what can you do?
So you said you were on. Remind me, what was the website again?
That was Soundtrap. Yeah.
Soundtrap?
Soundtrap is what it's called.
Okay. So you got into production first because you said there was a lot of loops on there. So you were just throwing drums on there.
Throwing
and just...
loops and stuff like that. And then, I started using, like, my W key would be a note.
Yeah,
and my E key. Like, it would automatically make my keyboard it. And so I didn't have that stuff. And then I just started. That was right around the time COVID hit. Like a little bit before that and stuff like that. I started kind of doing that stuff. But then when COVID hit, I started really getting into it. Because.
Still the website.
Oh, yeah. See, there it is. That's it. Basically, it was going from that to then finding out how to get an actual, studio, like kind of like your podcast set, like going from that to different from USB mic straight. I had a blue microphone.
Just keep adding to the collection.
Yeah, but it was I had to like learn it, because like people get annoyed when you start going and asking a whole bunch of questions. And I'm just a dude that asks a bunch of questions. So like, I had to just go YouTube, and just ask YouTube myself. And so eventually I started getting my own stuff. And then eventually I got the job at Guitar Center where I met Nick. Yes, and that helped me get my like final stuff. And then I eventually kind of have my little in-home studio that can allow me to do it. But I started producing for other people and stuff like that. Okay. Like, sitting down with other people and they're, bringing me raps. But I'm listening to, kids talk about fucking bitches getting $100,000, and I'm like, dude, we were scrambling for the dude behind the counter to give us the penny change from the Kid Cup because we didn't have enough to buy gummy bears. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? We have money right now. Like, I just didn't like sitting there and listening and all that. So my art stuff is a little bit more in depth and stuff like that, which is a little bit of a, I don't know how to say it, like a middle ground with hip hop, just because hip hop is so
So when you were cooking up for people, you just weren't like, you didn't have the desire for it just because it wasn't like real life, like it wasn't
it wasn't
it wasn't
not
authentic,
one person,
right?
And then when like I try to say anything, of course it was like it just gets weird, and so I was like, do I want to do this or do I just want to like kind of start to build my own way? So then I was like, well, okay. I know I have 25 good beats, and I was going to go to all these people with them. Let me just see what I can do with 15. And then I started writing, and it took me 2-3 years to finally figure out how. Like, I just had a freestyle every day in the car. Like, for every single time I get in the car for 10 minutes, I just fucking hit on SoundCloud, fucking Blank type beat, Bones type beat, Suicide Boys type beat, Travis type beat, Kanye type beat, anything.
Dude, thank God you said Suicide Boys type beat, because like I was going to ask, like, who do you like get compared to like your sound the most?
I would say, like, from what...
Because you give me, like,
From what I be going after, it's got to be Suicide Boys, like, Lil Peep type stuff. Yeah. Just because, like, that's what I like the super grunge, lo-fi, like, kind of weirded out. But my biggest influence and stuff like that in music and stuff like that would be, like, Travis or something like that. Like, seeing a Travis Scott show is something fucking else.
Really?
Like,
where'd you see it at?
I went to the Astrofest where people died, so that sucked. But it was insane.
Shit, I was just talking about this in the car.
Yeah. So that sucked, but it was like the show was insane. I mean, it was just.
You said it was the best night of your life until you
woke
up the next morning.
And I woke up the next morning and I didn't know. Like we saw a kid at the end of it. Here, I'll explain how the night went. Just cause
wait, you saw like some of the victims?
Like, we were there. We were in it. Like because I love getting up in the middle of it. That's usually where the mosh pits are. And so I'm with my girlfriend. I'm with my buddy and his girlfriend, and we go, and it's Travis. So we're moving from Lil Baby, and in Lil Baby something happened too, where we were in a pit. And a dude goes up and comes down and snapped his leg in the middle of the pit. And so it's just chaos around him. And this dude's leg is literally just dangling from like the ankle down, like he just snapped it like right by the bottom of the tibia. No one talks about that. And yeah, it's bad. And so like at that point in those festivals, they usually have like a police stand that's up high so that they can kind of look down. And there's just this kid. This is why I hate concerts sometimes because some people are fucked up. He's like screaming, "Stop! Everybody stop!" Like over them, like trying to get over the music. I'm the only one that can hear him because I'm right next to him. I'm like, "Stop!" Like he's like pushing other people and stuff like that. I'm like, "Stop!" Like you need to start pointing down. Like this kid is literally like down. Start pointing so this tower can see that we need medics to start making their way to us. And so of course, like 3 of us, I got one arm, another dude got another arm, and then this giant dude kind of came and like picked him up kind of himself, and they just kind of started carrying him off.
You were helping victims?
I just I helped him get up just because he was literally down and screaming.
Damn,
and this dude's really screaming. I'm
it.
start pointing. I'm telling everybody I'm doing this because I know the tower's looking, and this dude's just screaming his head off. And I'm like, God, it's just chaos. So
You said that was even before Travis came.
That was
right?
before Travis. That's Lil Baby. So we're coming from that, and Lil Baby still went for 20 minutes. Obviously, that kid got brought out, and the paramedics got to him or whatever.
Shout out that kid. We hope you're chilling now, brother.
Yeah, but then we get to Travis and we file in, and I pushed in because I'm like, we got to get to the center for this. This is my first time seeing Travis, so we're in there. This is when Escape Plan and Mafia came out with J. Cole, right?
Yeah,
J. Cole's on that puppy. And so we're all hyped and we're in there and whatnot, and it's taking forever. And finally the countdown stops, and he comes out. And it's straight flames. And I'm talking, we're 100 yards back, like a football field back maybe, because there's just so many people. People have been waiting there all day. That stage hadn't been used. It was the main stage. And so we're in the middle of it, and it's just fire. Like, he's got 45 seconds of straight fucking fire. Just fire,
insane,
fire.
dude.
And so it goes from 65-degree weather in Houston, 60-degree, 55 because it's getting cold, to straight fucking 90 degrees. Like, it is almost 100 degree right in front of you. Like, you could feel the flames. And so I can't imagine the people in the very, very front. But, us from 100 yards back, I was like, this is hot. And, of course, it's fun because you're like, whoa. Like, your whole system is different. But then all of a sudden, right after he, starts the first bar, gets to the second bar, he starts, rapping. It's just like this, whoa. The crowd is just starting to violently push, and you're like, and I'm at the point where we're starting to fall over on each other and stuff like that. So my shoe came off, and I had to jam my toe into the back of it to keep it, so because I didn't want to lose my shoe. And then finally we get brought back up from me laying on top of somebody, and I shove it back on. And my girlfriend's right here, and she's starting to hyperventilate because it's just.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just packed. And so she's hyperventilating a little bit, and I'm starting to hyperventilate. I'm like, we have got to get the fuck out of here. This is bad. And so I just kind of bear hugged her and fucking just went, all right, what would a cocaine addict do right now? Just fucking, and I just started elbowing. I mean, just because it's
madness,
that, or
dude.
we're just going to keep getting tossed. And I'm talking we are on top of each other and then back up. And if we get trampled, it's done. So, I just grabbed her and we just fought back, and my buddy and his girlfriend got separated, and so all of a sudden, we didn't even get to text them in the middle of it, just because we backed up and we assumed that everything was still okay, just because they didn't stop the show, and so we got out and we're like, whoa, that was insane, that hopefully will die down, but thank God we're out, and they got out too, they kind of fought back, and so we were maybe. If you can see the videos of Kylie Jenner and that, we were maybe 100 yards in front of her or something like that when we got out of it. And then all of a sudden, the whole show goes on. There's kids jumping on top of the security cart in the middle of the crowd, right? It's just chaos. There's a security cart coming through the crowd. Obviously somebody's hurt, and there's just kids on top of it, just shaking.
Crazy.
It's chaos. And Travis is stopping the show. I will give it to Travis. Travis stopped the show maybe 11 times. I was getting pissed.
Damn.
Just because we were in areas that. Did that stop?
I think it was still recording it.
Yeah, I think my bad. Something just happened on here, but
Something popped
we
up on the
tried.
screen and it looked like it stopped, but you're good.
Travis did stop it. I would give it to him. He did stop because he saw that there was stuff going on, but nobody just called the alarm the right way or something like that. So at the very end, when we were filing out, obviously there was this cart, and it came whizzing by right with the lights on and stuff like that, and there's just this kid on the back, and he's getting resuscitated, he's literally getting CPR'd right on the thing, and I hadn't seen that the whole night, so I'm like, what the hell? And everybody's filing out, so it's just chaos. This cart's trying to go this way, everybody is trying to beat it so that we can get the Ubers, not wait 4 hours. And the cart they stop because the kid needs some help, and they start it, and then they try to go again, and they hit the gas too hard, and a dude sits on the back with the kid, and the freaking stretcher board just like falls down, and the kid just like falls down, and so it's just chaos. Like, and they're like picking up the cart, putting it back on, doing it as they're going, like go, and like, so we knew something was like crazy, but I assume that's a kid passed out because I've seen a lot of those. I've seen kids pass out all the time, and they give them water and stuff like that, but like. To realize, that people were obviously crush was
losing
like,
their
my
life.
boss was the first one that woke me up in the morning. Like, it was because he gets up. My assistant boss at my work, he called me at like 6 a.m. because they have work super early. My parents weren't up; they didn't know. And he's like, "Yo, are you good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm chilling. Like, what's going on?" He's like, "Check the fucking news. Like, I don't think you just realized." And so, of course, we went and saw the flowers and the vigil and stuff like that.
Fuck.
And talked with some of the people and stuff like that were there, but like
That's deep.
That's another
That's
one of
heavy.
those.
Crazy.
Where were you when you heard the news? And
that's what I'm saying.
I was laying in my bed, like open Twitter, and it's just like
Yeah,
reported
you're
however
shocked.
many people.
This guy was there, dude.
Bro, that's
crazy.
insane. That's and you like it wasn't like you were off to the side.
No.
Like you were in the middle, and during the little baby part, like you saw somebody get hurt.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it happened. I mean, I've seen people roll their ankles and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And they're,
yeah.
like, you know, they're about to be crying, but like, the leg break was pretty fucking bad.
That's
Damn.
wild.
And then that was worse, just because Thugger was supposed to go the next day, and I wanted to see him and stuff like that, but we just didn't get the chance to. But,
Wait, they continued that next day?
No.
Oh,
they
that's
shut it
what-
down.
that's what
he's like,
So I
what?
would have saw Young
Oh,
Thug
that's
or
what he's
Gunna
saying.
and
They
stuff
didn't
like
get
that.
to-
but
I
I
thought
didn't
you were
get to.
saying like you just didn't go.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
yeah.
I was about to say they continued that concert. I was like, I didn't
Was
remember
it?
properly.
Do you? I don't think it was personally, but like, do you think it was Travis's fault?
No.
No.
It was a planning problem.
I think at that point it's the artist's job to put on a show, and like I said, Travis stopped it 11 times. I was getting fucking pissed. I was like, why does he keep stopping it? Because there was just quarrels and different things going on. He saw stuff, but like he just didn't understand the gravity of it, and like obviously it takes so long for those festivals for like paramedics and stuff to get to the crowd. So if a kid does faint, like it can take 15 minutes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like they're just used to going because they got an hour, and every single moment they go over, the city fines them $1 million. So it's like it's that stuff.
Yeah.
But I will say concerts and festivals and stuff like that are like my number. Like I immediately will get back and I'll be like, I have to fucking figure out how to be a musician. I can't not
I can't
do
imagine
that.
how
Like
awesome that is.
like especially the ones we went to Rolling Loud Miami, and that shit was fucking like it's just prime. Like
I was
you're just
talking-
like, what the hell?
Like I was talking with somebody about how like some of those guys that are kind of starting to pop off, like Babyface Ray, for example. He's not selling out stadiums or arenas. Like when he tours, he's going to like smaller venues and performing in front of however many.
Exactly. He could do like Masonic Temple or something.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
Fox or something, But bro, like that's a whole. You're adding another like 35,000 people when you go to Rolling Loud and performing. I can't imagine how they feel getting used to performing in front of like 3,000 people, 5,000 people, maybe 10, and then you go to Rolling Loud and it's like 40,000 people. That's got to be wild.
Listen,
More than that.
I've seen.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
I've seen some Lil Yachty, shows. I've seen Ski Mask's fucking festival
I
crowd
can't
is
imagine.
huge.
Oh,
It's fucking
I'm
massive.
sure it's crazy.
It is fucking. Dude,
He's got a
when Take a
catalog.
Step Back comes out, everybody's singing it. When fucking. I love when he plays Faucet Failure, which I've only seen once, I think, when he played it. But like, yeah, it's crazy to see what some of them can do. And then you see him in the concerts, and it's a lot smaller. Just because it looks a lot smaller, it's probably still close to the same amount of people. But actually, it's probably a little bit less just because those festival crowds, we only have 3 options. So it's like,
Yeah.
Ski Mask is definitely one of the top fucking
Yeah.
Right.
tiers. He's usually at the 7 o'clock slot or whatever, right before one of the bigger
Right.
headliners or whatever, and then boom, everybody's over for Playboy Cardi or whatever like that.
Facts.
Which I will say, Playboy Cardi shows are nuts too.
I bet.
They are.
I bet they're
I
like
haven't seen
Travis's.
Cardi.
They're insane. Yeah.
I haven't seen Cardi.
One person
but-
I wish I would have got to see, and I almost went to Masonic Temple, I think, to see him perform was X.
Oh, for real?
Dude,
Yeah, I almost
that's my
went.
thing. So like, I'm currently in a move. We're looking to move down to Miami area, like
Oh,
Fort
okay.
Lauderdale
Sure.
area. So like, I'm gonna be going from kind of here over there, a little bit bigger city, but X I've loved because I love his music. The one thing I hate about him, why do you have to fight so much?
That's true.
He man got like he was like a little pit bull, and like
He really
when he
was.
loved you, he fucking loved you.
Like
you know,
that
he'd be
cover
like
art.
all with you. But like, and he had great thoughts. Like
Bro,
his whole thought process was great. But then all of a sudden he'd be like beating the shit out of somebody and putting it on an album cover. I'd be like, what the fuck
What was
are
that
you
song
doing?
called? That he's like
I
sitting
think it's
there
it was Young Bratz or
I
something
think
like
so.
that.
He's holding the
Or something
dude.
like, hey, he's
and
holding the
dude's
dude on the
gushing
ground. And
blood.
he's
Oh,
gushing
and
blood.
X
yeah.
is just smiling. Oh, he was
crazy.
insane.
Like I'm like, what's going on?
That documentary they did on I think it's on Hulu was really fucking good. They got his like mom's
Oh
in it.
yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
gotta see that.
Oh,
I haven't
it's
seen that one. I've
awesome.
seen the Juice WRLD one.
The Juice WRLD
when
one.
that
Juice WRLD
when
one was
Burn
great.
came out at like the same time and stuff like that.
My personal favorite one is Lil Peep.
Really?
That they had on Netflix.
Have you
Lil
seen-
Peeps,
awesome.
Lil Peeps,
Have you
I
seen-
haven't seen that one. I have to watch that one. My favorite one is Look Mom, I Can Fly.
Awesome.
That's what put me into most of my production
The
stuff. was
Kanye
seeing,
Kanye doc was crazy.
Kanye
Awesome.
doc was nuts. It's so
Awesome.
hard to follow that.
The first
man.
2 episodes are fucking amazing,
Yeah,
and then
I
you
know.
get to the third one, and
Yeah,
it
you're
starts
like,
acting
we
like
can
Kanye
forget
that we
this
know.
one,
And it's
yeah.
like,
Have
alright.
you guys seen?
we could go back.
Have you seen the Kid Leroy's documentary?
No, yeah, no, but he was
Yeah.
in the Juice WRLD one quite a bit.
Yeah.
And stuff
That
like
one
Wa-
is-
watch the Kid Leroy one. That one's pretty cool.
bro.
They got like little like I don't know. It's like a psychedelic vibe to it. It's
Oh.
like, how do I explain this? It'll go from like a scene, and then like in the middle of the scene, like something will pop up, and then it like breaks off into like another world, and then like it cuts into. I don't know.
That's
You'd,
cool.
you'd have to watch it.
That sounds
It's cool. It's
The
cool.
Juice WRLD one was really cool because I thought it was made very well. They didn't do
It was
interviews
sad, dude.
the whole fucking thing until the end, like when he's passing away, and they had the actual people that like were there. I didn't know Leroy was on the plane. I didn't know Leroy was sitting across
Yeah,
from him.
yeah,
I
I,
didn't know
found
that
that
either.
out.
Oh.
In
I knew they were
Juice's
boys
doc.
because
Yeah.
he started to pop off like right around that time with like Devo with
Yeah,
Tekka.
Tekka,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I knew they were friends, like knew each other. But I didn't know like he was sitting across from him when
Right.
Juice just died. Like that's in the X one, they have his mom there in it talking. Oh, it's
Yeah, it's
oh.
sad.
But yeah,
They're
that,
sad.
I don't mean to cut this. I was gonna say this when we were talking about festivals. I don't mean to cut you off. I watched a festival on Netflix, a documentary on Netflix about Woodstock
Woodstock
'99.
99. Yeah, I watched that one too.
Bro,
Crazy.
we think
Yeah, yeah.
Astrofest was
Oh
bad.
yeah, oh yeah,
The craziest part is 1999.
yeah.
Nowadays, that happens. Kids would be on Twitter, Instagram, taking out their frustration like that.
Yeah.
Like this sucks. We'll be out of here in a couple. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Woodstock '99, bro. They decided to burn everything. Like by the last day, for some reason, they thought it'd be smart to give however many people candles.
Yeah,
For some
no,
for
it
one of the
was
last performances.
So dumb.
And then there was a big rumor that like there was this surprise final guest, and it was gonna be like Prince or Michael Jackson or Aerosmith. They did a movie video wall, like how like a movie projector of Jimi Hendrix playing guitar.
Oh,
That
you
was the
gotta be
final part.
kidding
Yeah.
me.
So everyone lost their fucking mind and started just making fires, and then they slowly got bigger,
Yeah.
and then they blew up semis.
This is on
Chaos,
Netflix.
Yeah, 3-part
Yeah.
documentary.
I gotta watch this.
I don't remember
amazing.
that part. I
It's
don't remember
nuts.
the Jimi Hendrix. So they just did it like a video
That-
production, just pissed off. It's like you
They had
hyped
like
this up for
they
a
had like those
video?
hologram like those lights that
The
you
holograms.
like, yeah, you know what, like the lasers, they had that was like the big last thing,
Yeah, man, you gotta get someone.
bro. Like what? But they interviewed people the day after, like the people that were still there that Monday when everything is like demolished and
Yeah.
like waiting to go home, and they're like, we would do it again, no doubt in our mind. Like we would. People got like the plumbing was fucked up.
Yeah.
They couldn't
Yeah,
get
there
drinking
was-
water. It was
It was bad.
bad. Like a guy went and tested it and said like this is horrible. People got like dirty mouth, which you get like sores all over your
Yeah.
mouth. And then like by the last day, people are jumping in mud piles and stuff. What people didn't realize, plumbing's fucked up. They're in pee and poop, like
Yeah.
just swimming and just sweat. Oh, it's
That's
disgusting. Oh, it's a
That's so
crazy
gross.
doc. It's one of my favorite,
Big
most
gross.
favorite ones.
I wanna ask you. So you got into production first, obviously, and we talked a little bit about you using Ableton, even off camera. We talked about that. When did recording your own music making songs come into play? Was it around the same time as just starting production?
Were you doing stuff before me that much? Were you recording raps before
I,
that?
I recorded, yeah, before I met you, but it wasn't very serious. I was paying at a studio for a bit. Well, I buddied up with one of the producers so that he let me in there for free a bunch of times because I was young. And then I eventually started paying him a little bit to get in there to do like my first song, but I didn't like how it was turning out, and it was tough for me to explain it because I don't know the terms. I didn't know what I was talking about. I just knew what I wanted to hear. So like when you're talking to somebody who then knew music and you're like starting to know it but don't know how to explain it, it sucks.
Yeah.
And so I knew I needed somebody more like Nick or something like that have like, you know,
bridge the gap.
Yeah, we're sitting on there and we have a shot or two. Then all of a sudden it's just funny when I don't know what the hell is going on or something like that. Or when I think I hear something and he thinks it's off key and then we're fighting about it and we end up leaving it in there or something like that. Like the nuance.
Yeah, I think nuance
stuff
is the
like
last
that,
one
nuance.
because there was I was like, he's not ending on the tonic, and I was like, it's pissing me off because the original recording he ended on it, so every time I heard it after there, I didn't hear it, and he's like, dude, just let it ring like that, and I'm like, I can't, I keep hearing that fucking note, and then after a while, I didn't listen to the song for like a couple weeks, and then I came back to it, and I was like, oh, I hear it now, bro, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So but there's stuff like that they always show me and stuff like that, but I knew I needed somebody that was closer and that I could get closer with, so I just started writing and started compiling beats and trying to like figure out, okay, when I get, you know, everything that I need, I started trying to figure out if I can do it myself and trying to do it myself, and I started to kind of get there. But then I got the job at Guitar Center, and Nick came in, and then we started hanging out, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, I mean, if you want practice, I want practice, let's just start putting it together, and then we started doing stuff.
You remember that moment? We were driving down. It was downtown Grand Rapids. We just turned on to 196, and you put on one of your beats, and you're like, "You want to hear one of my beats?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." And he put on one of his beats, and he just starts freestyling over it. And I'm like, you know, typically it's like, okay, let's see. And then I'm like, listen to it. And I'm like, no, okay, that's actually good, man. And I'm like, why don't you just fucking like, let's just record this, man. We just got together, and yeah, just said, like, pull up the track, you know, go in there, lay down some music.
That's how it'd be
before we
happening.
knew it, we had Silhouettes of the Frontier.
Yeah, and then, so it's a Frontier. Well, it was supposed to be 2 albums. So there was that one. It was supposed to be Silhouettes,
And
or it was supposed to be
right. Something like that.
Silhouettes of Nightmares and Dreams of Frontier or something like that. And it was supposed to be just lighter songs and darker songs.
Yeah.
And then we just combined it.
So you have 2 albums out, Silhouettes of the Frontier, right?
Yep.
And then Constellate?
Constellate, yeah.
Constellate?
Constellate is how I
Constellate?
think you say it, but I always just say Constellate because it's easy. So
No,
I say
it.
Constellate, so
Yeah,
it's just like
that's what I say.
so what really like inspired those projects, you know, like what got you guys in the lab to go like let's get a whole album in the works?
Well, after Silhouettes came out, I was on a kick, and so we did Crux and Lunars, which were like 2 singles in between that, and so I did videos for those and stuff like that and different promo stuff, and I figured out, okay, well, now if we can do music or whatever, and obviously everything gets better with time, so we just got to keep doing it, and we keep, you know, vaulting songs that just aren't, you know, there or whatever, half ideas, but I needed to start getting video and stuff like that, so that's where I had to start kind of. That's the thing about the modern art, like you have to do kind of most of it. So like I have to edit most of my own videos and stuff like that, or get the film, like my girlfriend's filming, you know, or something like that. Like we just have to move with what we can, because I can't pay out $500 every time for a super good camera or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping, you know, that we're working our way to get to a camera and stuff like that. Same thing, we did some clothing and stuff like that and whatnot for Constellate and stuff like that, and I had to work with what I could. We worked with like a small brand called Chaotic Good over in Grand Rapids, and that was sick. Nick met Tommy, one of their designers and stuff. They're pretty cool, and so I worked with him, but we were driving him back and forth and stuff like that because his car was broken down, trying to figure stuff out in months. The biggest thing with Constellate was I was trying to think of a concept album, like something to do, and we did Crux or whatever, which is a name of a constellation, the Southern Cross. And so I was like, all right, well, let's do constellations. And then I was like, oh shit, we got to be careful because I don't want to do the generic ones like Cancer and Arius or whatever. You know, I'm a fucking Gemini. No, like so I went and I found ones that I went to Chicago actually, surprised my girlfriend while she was with friends or whatever. When she was on the train ride back, I rode with her, and I went to the museum just while she was with her friends still, and I got a book. And I just went through it, and it had all the constellations. And so I just read it. I read the Greek mythology stories behind them and the Nordic stories behind them. And I just tried to line up with themes that I wanted to do. So each of those songs is about a theme. And for you to figure that out, that's up to you. But it's for me, that's what it was supposed to be, and so we structured it like that. But I just wanted to get 2 done before I was 21, so that was all before I was 21.
That's
and now,
dope.
That's tough.
Now we're working on West Side Tapes, which is gonna be like my last little thing before I probably get out of here and go to Florida and try down there for a bit in Broward.
You're going full-time music down there?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go down there, bigger city and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go try to get some bigger play with some of the bigger artists.
I'm
down
not
there.
gonna lie.
Wishing you the best with
Some
that,
of the
dude.
studios are down there. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a little bit different because
That'll
it
be
was either
sweet.
here or over there. But when you're convincing your girlfriend to move from her hometown, you know,
Yeah.
she's like a
Yeah.
beach. You know, you don't go to Atlanta. She's like, no, I'd rather go to
Miami.
where
Yeah.
salty shores right next to me. So,
When I was down there, I swear, like those, like,
and I agree.
oh, okay.
So,
Around that week I was down there, I swear, networking, like, it was so easy. I met so many DJs, and I met so many, like, I met a couple different social media guys that, like, put me on their page and shit like that.
You're
So,
gonna
like,
have to give him your connects.
it was at, so y'all know
That's what I'm
Swag Boy Q?
Off the top of my head.
He was big on TikTok. He would do those stupid, like, rate me 1 to 10 and, like, look at the girl. He had, like, really shiny white teeth.
I never got on TikTok.
I feel like I might.
It was real corny, and he was
Okay.
in the middle of doing one, and he saw all of us, and we were like, "Oh, that's that dude from TikTok," and he saw a bunch of drunk, like, 20s, 21-year-olds, like,
21-year-olds.
yeah, let's get
Hell
these
yeah.
guys on film, and then I rapped for him, and
What?
he was
All
like,
right,
"This
you
is
have to
dope."
send me that. That way,
Yeah,
if I
that's
run
great.
into him, yeah, you remember this shit? I know that dude.
I ran into him a year
He
later.
interviewed me.
I dapped him up, and I was like, "You remember me?" And he goes, "You're that one rapping dude," and then he just walked
Yeah,
away.
it's hilarious.
So you said West Side Tapes is on the horizon. How long you been working on that, or like what's the kind of the vibe to that?
That I started working on right after our Constellate show that we had. We put on. I put on my own little show. paid
Oh yeah,
for
I
it and
saw that.
everything
Pop
with-
up the
with Nick.
pictures. Pop up the pictures.
Yeah. And so we put that on. Nick played guitar for me on one of my songs, and we had some other artists that obviously got to perform and stuff like that, and that was sick. I didn't think that was possible, but we did that one night, so clearly
That was one of
clearly
those
you can do
things, yeah.
anything. And yeah, I mean, $75 an hour to rent it, you know, like you can put it on. Me and my girlfriend, shout out Sadie for going with me to the store and getting Hershey chocolates and goldfish at Costco and stuff like that, so that everybody can have little snacks. And like, you don't need a lot, but like
Yeah.
we got it done. Everybody seemed like they had fun. It was,
Dude, it was a great
it was
time.
great
I didn't
night,
see
so-
anyone having a bad
Yeah,
time there. Everyone was vibing.
That's awesome.
and,
That was dope.
And so, yeah, it was cool to do that. But then right after it was, I was like, with those artists that I worked with and stuff, they gave me different connections and whatnot. And so I was like, all right, well, I want to make something for Grand Rapids and the West Side. Because
Yeah.
this kid's always in my house talking about the East Side. So, I love the East Side, don't get me wrong. But you guys are huge and you guys are talked about all the time. So
Yeah.
and I was like, well, let me get some Grand Rapids artists together, and so that's what this one is. It's like 5 songs, but more features and different, voices. on
That's
it
that's
than
one
just
thing
myself.
I never learned too much out on the West Side was a lot of artists out there. I never came across a lot of artists.
It's niche. You have to like hit the right
Yeah.
pocket, and it's usually like 3 friends are all artists.
Yeah.
Who's
And,
the
like,
biggest one? Would you say it's I'm
There's a
trying-
couple. I mean,
would it be Sunny? Would he be Sunny Sky?
Sunny Ski, yeah. Shout out
Sunny
him.
Ski.
I haven't met him, but his dad comes in the Guitar Center, so listen, hey, he gets his stuff for his son all the time, so he loves his son's stuff. And
He's the one who I keep
and
coming
yeah,
back
so
to.
I'm looking to work with artists like Brandon Daniels, who's on my first one. I've done a song with him, and then Shayla Hamady, she's popping off around. She comes out to the Ann Arbor and East Side
Okay.
sometimes, and then Trix the Wix kid.
Oh, yeah, we love
he's-
Trix.
We love Trix. He's so funny, and like he's just like he spits fire. He's got like he knows how to put like the flammable liquid in your
Oh.
mouth. He's straight up.
Yeah,
I
like,
thought
he
you were
literally-
saying like
literally
rapping
Oh
like
yeah,
he
spits
no,
spits
no,
like.
no. Oh, he spits fire while rapping. And trust me, I had him in the
There's a
studio.
picture of it on
Oh,
my
he's nuts,
Instagram.
but
Oh,
yeah,
someone's
it's-
got a
Send it to
picture.
me.
Yeah.
the fire. It's insane. He's pretty awesome, and so I'm hoping that we get stuff like that done, and I'll try to release that right before, like hopefully in March or something like that. Is what
Yeah.
I'm looking for right now.
Well, I have a buddy that I met out there in my psychology class that was a producer, and that's honestly why I started producing, because like I was recording at the time, he was making beats. So I was like, oh, let's work together. And then I was like, dude, I don't want to be an artist, so I started making beats. I'll have to pull up on you guys. I'm actually supposed to be going out there in like 2 weeks, so if I'm pulling up out there, I'll hit you guys up. You stay out this way though, don't you?
Yeah, I live back here now.
Okay.
If you need crash, come. You can
Say
just
less.
lay on the couch, bro.
Say less.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
My house is.
In Florida too?
Florida's fine.
I
mean, you gotta take that in my girl too. 'Cause she's coming, so if she's cool,
It's up to her. I get
But
you.
no, I do want to meet some Grand Rapids artists out there. Kind of getting connects with them. So
Yeah, the
we
only
make
one
that
you
happen,
ever
we
really
make it
talked
happen.
about was Trap Suey.
Well, he's not an artist. He's just producer.
Yeah, just make him. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like in music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's like an average studio session or like cook up look like? Are you guys all from obviously all from scratch? But when you're writing music, are you punching in or are you actually sitting there like jotting it down?
It's a lot of freestyling, and then I start to try to just take little lines that I freestyle that I like and piece them together.
So you like find like a little melody and then like fill in the words type of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's gibberish because sometimes it's tough to think of words, but as long as I can get a general like how I want the notes to go, like how I want my voice to go, and that's the toughest thing because I've never been taught to sing, so I'm teaching myself that too on and learning. And as we go and as I get more comfortable, usually the more it's like comfortable I am with either Nick or whoever's in the studio, I can do more. But that's the weird thing about our show. They just never prepare you for you're on a mic and everybody's just waiting on you and you fuck up and then they're waiting on you and then they fuck up and then I'm like, holy, I'm taking gigabytes of data here, fucking up.
That's why I'd like having the right people in the studio, like that understand the process. Like if there's people that are in there that it's their first time in there, like they're just hanging out, it's like they don't really know what to expect, so the vibe can get thrown off a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Like you gotta be ready to be in there for almost.
And that's why if I do, since I have Nick, who I know is really good in the studio, if I do have somebody else, I'll typically try to get him in there. So so I have to, and that way we can, I can maintain control.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're not like they're trying to race on my little racing simulator or something like that for an hour and a half. And
the racing.
in my
I've done
VR,
those. Those are fun.
So.
Coming down to some of the quick hitters.
Yeah.
If you had to suggest one song to someone that's watching this, what song would that be?
I got 3 in my head.
Is it any song? Or are we doing by him?
No, by him.
By you.
Yeah. If you could suggest one song of his for people to go check out, what would it be?
One song. I would say my favorite is probably like Crux.
That's one of the
or
3.
something like that. Yeah, just
one of the
the
singles,
theme of
right?
it and stuff like that.
It's one of the singles?
What's up?
That's one of the singles?
Yeah, that's one of the
Okay.
singles. It's the one right after Silhouettes. Yeah, that was cool. It's got an Alan Watts sample in there, and so I love listening to them old philosophers and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I would say that one.
Do you ever get writer's block or a creative block, and if so, how do you overcome it?
Dude, fuck yeah. The only way I overcome it is just like if I realize I'm like I can't do anything, I make sure I'm at least doing 30 minutes or something like that. I always like if I'm gonna sit down and write, and I try to every day, it's at least, or I'm freestyling in the car. Like I always do this. It's 2 things for me. Writer's block always happens, so I usually, when I go in the car and I'm going to work, I'll just try to freestyle, and I'll just try to unblock my head. Like, I'll just go. Even if I'm not saying words, I'll just go till I start saying words. And then, naturally, I'll start to figure stuff out. Or I will take a break. I've learned how to kind of take a break, because, like Nick will tell you, I don't take breaks or stop a lot.
Dude, he will go to. This is how crazy this man is. We will go out to Grand.
I'm listening.
Oh yeah.
Just sending a text real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We will go out to Grand. I will go out to Grand Rapids, and I need sleep, bro. I cannot function if I don't get sleep.
Feel you.
But I go out there, and we will work until 4 a.m. and then he gets up at 5:30. We'll go to bed. I'm not even sure if he sleeps. He might just watch YouTube for an hour, and then he goes to work at the country club.
But then then I'll go work an 8-hour shift. Like
Damn.
It's I don't know how the fuck he does it. Genuinely, it impresses me. I don't know. I can't do that.
But to me, it's just because it's so much fun to me. So I don't know what it is. Like I just wouldn't. I'd rather not sleep. I also heard you sleep like 30% of your whole fucking life. So
Yeah.
if I can get back 10% of
This
that,
kid's gonna do it.
if I can get back 10% of that, then
You got an advantage over
I mean,
a lot
that's
of
what
people.
Kobe said. He said, "Bitch, you get up at 4. You get up at 4.
It's a great way to
if you
go
get up
about
at
it.
4 instead of the dude that's getting up at even 6 a.m., you got 2 hours on that bitch.
That's a
And
great
that
way to
is
look at it.
Times 7, that's 14 hours.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm, even if you can do something for 15 minutes a day while somebody else ain't doing shit, 4 days, that's an hour of your time, dude. That might, you could
Adds
stumble
up.
on some.
It
know,
adds
and
up.
it's. So that's what I'm on. Just trying to do something every single time, every single day. But I will say, yeah, I don't know when to stop. So that's why I usually will surround myself with people who know how to take breaks and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and take me to a goddamn Michigan Panthers game or a Lions game or a Red Wings game to finally bust me out of the I need this to happen or I need to get to this because
Yeah.
He said he does his own videos too. Dude.
Yeah, I
Man of
know.
many talents between producing,
Wild.
making his own music, videos. What else you got in the chamber? What other
make your
skills you
cover
got?
art?
shit. Yeah. I'll make
Wow.
my cover art a lot. I don't think I've. The one that I haven't made is Constellate. There was an artist that photo was blue, and I went and I filtered it how I wanted it, and I gridded it, and then I reached out to him and I got the rights so that I could use it and stuff like that. So that's the only one that isn't. And then Silhouettes of the Frontier, I modeled it, and my buddy he kind of drew it up.
Okay.
And so yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crux and Lunars. I made those ones.
That's
Not
sick.
that
What
hard
would
to
you
make
What would
those.
you say your biggest weakness is as an artist? Like something you know or want to improve on in this upcoming year or just in the future?
I would say for me, damn, I gotta connect more. Just because I'm gonna be moving stomping grounds. So like from this side, I got comfortable over here, which makes me a little nervous when I'm now gonna be trying to move to Miami and stuff like that. But I know I could do it here within a year or 2 years. So if I can go and try to do something like that in Miami, for me, I'm much more of I want to work with other people than I love doing shit myself. Don't get me wrong. I get pissed when somebody tells me change this or whatever. But it's like it's the features and stuff like that I am like I love those Kanye albums.
Collaboration.
Kanye
dude.
mentioned, but
Oh yeah, we've
Kanye,
talked about him
yeah.
a little bit. And haven't
but
mentioned
like
anything.
the like early Kanye and stuff like that, where you have 8 people on a song and stuff like that,
Yeah.
even forever, with
Fucking
Drake and
awesome.
all of them and whatnot, and Travis, Asher, like that, having the difference of a couple of different things and stuff that I can't think of
Yeah.
on my beats and stuff like that sometimes is crazy to me. I'm
Yeah.
like, how the fuck?
And then you see what people come up with on your beats, and it's like
that's what I'm
so
saying.
sick.
Like
the
especially with
collaboration
West
side
Side
of
Tapes,
it.
you'll see it. I'm like, these are all beats that I made. Like what I sampled "Wolves" by Kanye West for one of them and
Okay.
stuff like that. Like there's like you'll hear certain things like that like you'd have no idea that a person could flow on it like that. Like I know how I'd flow on it, but
Right.
like, and that might be obvious to some
Someone
people
does
that
another
listen to me,
pocket, and you're like,
but to hear other people, they just kind of come in out of the random and do something completely different than what I'm doing
Right.
on the same beat. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cool. And it's not just rapping; it's melodics and stuff like that too. So
that's another reason I wanted to give up on the artistry and go into more producing, because like I wanted to work with way more people. And
Yeah.
as an artist, I wouldn't be able to work with nearly as much as I would be able to as a producer.
Yeah.
If you could make a collab album with any artist, do you got to leave soon? What time is it?
yeah, I might have to leave here in a minute.
Oh, shit, all right.
5 or so.
All right, we'll run through these real quick
Hit
then.
me.
Collab album with any artist.
I would say probably Travis Scott.
Okay.
Probably.
5 dinner guests, dead or alive.
What'd you say?
5 dinner guests, dead or alive. Could be anyone.
5 dinner.
You're having a dinner. 5 people are invited. Could be anyone. Who is it? Damn, I'm sorry if we're running this late.
I would say I love like Alan Watts. I would go like him. I'd probably go Messi. I'd probably go like Wayne Gretzky or something like
Ooh.
that. I love that.
You don't want to talk to Kanye, right?
And then if we're doing artists too, I was kind of leaving my artists out, but
Oh, yeah.
I would put Kanye in there, but he would take the spotlight and try to take over the whole table. He'd be like, it's my table.
dinner. That's my dinner.
And I'd be like, sir, we're just trying to have a conversation. Sir. 3 times. Yeah, I would say that, and then I would say probably. Oh man, I'd probably put Dead or alive, you said? I'd
Yeah.
probably put Virgil in there. I'd love to speak to Virgil. He's always seemed like a really
Him and
cool
Kanye
dude.
are gonna have some
Really
shit
quiet,
to talk
really
about.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Maybe not. I wouldn't probably bring Kanye if I'm bringing Virgil.
They
I'd
probably wouldn't sit
leave
by
those
each
two
other.
separate.
All right, favorite album with no skips.
Favorite album with no skips. I would say probably Life of Pablo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great album.
Gun to your head, you got to sing every lyric to a song in order to stay alive. What song is that?
Can't be one of yours.
Birds in the Trap.
Ooh, okay. Last question.
Or
Do you-
Beebs in the Trap. What
Yeah,
was it?
I knew what you were
Birds in the
referring
Trap
to.
singing,
Yeah, I know
right,
what
is
you were
the
referring
fucking-
to.
Beebs in the Trap.
Outside of music, in the next 10 years, are there any other ventures that you would like to pursue?
Hell yeah. Like I hope music can give me a platform to go and start. I'm thinking like for my next clothing thing of giving 50% to public school teachers in whatever area I'm in when I do it, if it's in Miami or if it's here. I'd love to do it here. Like I want to try to give back to communities, so if we can set up some community centers. I've always thought like there was a 3 Mile project by my house, and that like kids could go there, you know, when they're teens and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's one place that at least had some supervision in case somebody broke their leg or something like that. But a bunch of cool shit to do. It's like I would love to make enough money to just be able to fund that and not have to worry about it, but give people a place to be able to get together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd buy a golf course. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
and
that'd be
frickin-
fire.
And like, you know, I try to do it a little bit more, probably better than some of the pesticides and the way that we be doing it nowadays,
Yeah.
just because we do it certain ways. But now, like I would love to just do stuff like that and clothing and stuff like that. I love fashion and stuff like that. And so does my girl. She works at a dress shop, so like to do that, she wants to be a teacher.
That'd
so
be
be able
awesome.
to let
Yeah.
her teach without having to worry about
Yeah.
getting paid $45,000 fucking year. So
Well, I'm sorry if we took up too much of your time. I know you got to get back.
hell no.
Thank you for
we did
making
it.
the
Yes,
two-
of course,
2.5
guys.
hour
Thank you very
drive
much
out
for
here.
doing it.
Of
It's
course.
nice meeting you.
Yes,
Best of luck.
sir.
Best of luck in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it'll be
nice
dope.
meeting
Well,
ya.
hopefully I see you guys. If you're over in 2 weeks, you can crash at my house.
I got you. I'll hit you up. We'll be in touch for sure.
Yeah.
Because
I met you.
I got to talk to you about something off camera.
Oh, okay.
But
Let's do it.
all right. Well, with
Yeah.
that being said, links will be in the description. Go follow. Go stream his music and like, comment, subscribe, and
I think you got it.
yeah, we'll see you guys next Sunday. Peace out.
Wee woo.
Peace.